Hi there, Taryn Mulcahy here, Emerald Ambassador, and I'm with Kirsten, Allison, and Megan, and we are going to talk a lot about um, developing your why, sharing your financial why, sharing your health why, and the importance and purpose of your why. This is part of being very intentional and relational with sharing the Plexus opportunity and the business instead of just posting on Facebook and posting kind of in a spammy matter or just being third-party validation to our audience. Because when we don't reach out and we just post, then we're just giving the opportunity for someone else to reach out to our potentials in our audience and share with them why they're doing this and ask them to be on this journey. So we need to be bold. We need to reach out, but we need to reach out with our heart and be very purposeful and relational, because this is relationship marketing. So we're going to start with the importance of your why and why your why matters. So your why is crucial because your why is what really pulls at your heart, and it's what's going to make you relate to someone else and draw their heart in. One of my favorite things is it doesn't matter what our products can do or what this business will do for someone, but if you can't relate to someone and connect with them, they may not have any interest in these products or this business because they're not sure that they can connect with you and join you on this journey. So developing your why and sharing your why is crucial. Your why is going to be the thing that keeps you going, and it's going to be the thing that inspires other people to want to jump in feet first, wholeheartedly, and run with you. And it's also going to be the thing that helps people stay connected while they're maybe experiencing die-off or maybe having some slower times in their business. But we all have this passion in our hearts, and we feel connected to one another, and we go through this journey together. So our why is crucial. One of my favorite things is a great why can move your conversation when you're talking to people from a salesy conversation into a memorable and an influential conversation. If you're trying to share this business and these products and you don't want to be that salesy person or think you're not good at selling anything, it's because we don't sell anything. We connect with people and we relate to them and we share a passion. So we need to share our hearts and our why so that we can connect to their hearts and we can create a memorable and an influential experience with them. So we're going to go to Kirsten, who's going to help us share our financial why.
All right. I'm going to be talking a little bit about my why and why I kind of started this journey. We all have struggles, but I just made the choice to overcome mine. I'm going to rewind 3 years ago. My son was in 4K at the time, and I had just gotten a teaching position in my hometown. And on my lunch breaks, I would go pick him up. And on this particular day, I won't forget, his teacher told me he had an excellent day at school. So me being the proud mom that I am, was like, oh my gosh, Sky, let's go get you a treat at the gas station before I take you to daycare. So I was telling him how proud I was, and I told him he could pick out anything from the gas station he wanted. So we walked in, and he's, so happy, and I'm so excited for him. And bless his heart, he picks out a yogurt. And so we were walking up to the counter, and he was, happy as can be. And we get up to the cashier, and I hardly ever carry cash on me. So I had handed the cashier my debit card, and she rang it through, and it said insufficient funds. So for me, I will never forget that moment. The way my son looked up at me, and he really didn't understand why he couldn't get that treat that he deserved. It was heartbreaking for me. I don't ever want to experience that again. I left there so embarrassed, and I just felt bad for him. And it was a real defining moment for me. And from that moment on, I really decided that I don't want to be that mom that has to worry about getting my next paycheck to get something for my kid. I don't want to be that mom to get a bill in the mail and freak out and not know how we're going to make that work. I don't want to worry about how to get groceries. And I didn't want to do it. I don't want other people to determine my worth. I was done with it. So, and when Plexus came into my life, I really didn't see it as an opportunity right away. So I didn't see it for what it was. But, at first I was thinking, well, I'm busy. I have 3 kids. There's no way I can make this work. I don't have time. I was working full time. I was going to school for my master's. I didn't have time. But after a little while, I kind of switched my mindset. I'm like, you know what? I need to use these excuses as my reasons for doing this. I need to do this because I have 3 kids, and I want that financial freedom to be able to spend time with them. I'm doing this because I work full time and I don't want to for the rest of my life. I have so many, student loan things that I need to cover. So I'm doing it because I'm going to school to get my master's. So that simple change of mindset for me changed everything for us. Because a year ago, in January, so it's been a year now, me and my husband were able to go down to invest, start up some investment funds for our future home and for our children. And that always bothered me before, because we were never able to put away and save. I mean, we live paycheck to paycheck. So that was huge for us. And when we first went down there, it was really important to me to write that full check out. I wrote a whole year's worth of my Plexus money. I saved every single penny that I made, and I wrote it out in one big check. And I remember looking at my husband and just crying. I mean, this opportunity is real. This is what it has. It has so much to offer, and people need to see that. So that investment was huge for us. I mean, it was a total 180. So it is now my goal to find people that were like me who struggle. I want to find those struggling moms, those struggling dads, not only financially, but health-wise too. That day-to-day struggles with health. I want to find those people that struggle, and I want to help people. So that is my why. So that's just an example of something that you can share with potentials. It's always so nice to share that with potentials, because it really casts that vision for them and really helps them see what this can do. And I also think it's really important to share with your upline, because it creates that sense of unity, that connection, and purpose. I mean, I love knowing my girls on my team. I love knowing their why, because say they're having a rough time, or they're struggling with something. It's so nice to refer to and to remind them of their purpose, because it's so easy to kind of lose sight of that. So just to have that in my back pocket, and just to be able to pull on that and just kind of connect with them, it's just an awesome thing. So, and then I think next is Allison with her story.
Thanks, Kier. I love Kier's story, and she has a lot of emphasis on there and storytelling. So we've all heard about storytelling when you share your why. It just pulls and connects whoever's listening into your why and your heart, and it just resonates with why, pulls them in, connects you. So mine's going to be more of my health testimony, and that's at this point where Plexus impacted me the most. So for my why, I like to take everyone to a place. So it was about 2 years ago. I was in the doctor's office in May, a sunny day, and it was cold. I was in one of those silly wafery gowns they always put you in. And I was just sitting there, and I had been on hormones injections for weeks. So the doctor came in. This is our 5th failed IUI at this point, and I'm very open and honest, so I love being transparent with my story. But at that point, hormones, cold, doctor tells me I'm overweight and overstressed, and that's the only reason she sees for, our able not to start a family. So I don't know anyone who has tons of hormones going through her system that's not going to cry. But after hearing that and the monies that we've invested, I didn't know what to do, so I cried. It was about an hour ride home. I just cried the whole way home, because for 6 years now, that has been the dream for my husband and I, to start a family. It's the one missing piece. So I remembered when I got home seeing my friend's post on Facebook, but it was a message that she had sent me to reach out to me and see how I was doing, that made me think maybe Plexus could change something. And once your gut's healthy, everything else becomes healthy. And so I thought maybe this could be the missing piece. And so I started giving Plexus a try about year and a half ago now. So with that, I didn't realize all of the things that could change. And I hadn't shared that with my friend. And all of a sudden I started to see inflammation. I had had a neck injury, shoulder injury equal to 60-mile-hour whiplash that resulted in 2 pinched nerves. So all of a sudden the inflammation in my shoulders and neck started going down. After years, like 15 years of therapy, I was able to get back into the gym, start lifting weights. So yeah, the weight started coming off too because I was lifting weights and able to exercise. Inflammation was going down, and my diet changed because the products helped change my sugar cravings, what I was craving. I started craving healthy foods. It was crazy. I had more energy, so I could just go all day long. I fell in love with everything this had to offer. And then now I'm on a journey now with even bettering my health, going gluten-free. And it's easy. I don't miss anything unhealthy, and I just so grateful for the products. So that's kind of a short version of my why. There's obviously a lot more to it, but keeping it short and sweet tonight. So with that said, there's a lot of storytelling details you can tell. Take people to a place, tell them how you felt. It's just sharing your heart. Like Taryn and Kier both said, you have to be transparent and share your heart. It's a big part of your why. If you are new on this journey, this could be hard for you. So always reach out to someone on the team and share their testimony, share their why. And we have a great support system. So just, reach out to someone and you'll find yours. Or just be honest and say you're just starting your journey. And if they want to talk to you, it's easy. Keep it simple. We all have one. We all have a reason. We all have a purpose for being here. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Megan.
Hey everyone, I'm on to the exciting part where you get to develop your why. Thank you all for being here because your why truly has the potential to completely transform your business. So when you get started, I want you to think about two things, two goals. Number one, I want it to be relatable because the truth of it is the prospect really doesn't care about you. I said it. They care about what you can do for them, right? We all care about how these products can help us. So relate it to them. And number two, make them curious. And you create curiosity by being concise and consistent, okay? Be clear in your message. You can always expand later on your why. So the last thing I want to say quick before I give you some guidelines is keep it to 90 seconds or less. All right, the teacher and me had to give you a little visual, so here's some questions and the little graphics that go with it. So number one, I want you to ask yourself when you're at your paper and you're developing your why, what was lacking in your life until Plexus came? Now, when you're talking to a prospect, if I could just put a line through this Plexus word, I don't want you to use the word Plexus because remember, you're sharing your journey, you're sharing your heart, okay? So focus on one or two areas. You notice both Kirsten and Allison did that. They didn't tell their entire 5-year journey or any, they didn't go beyond more than one or two events, okay? One or two events, whether it's for me personally, I remember I couldn't run and I love to run and I couldn't go to Memorial Park on one particular day and was looking at Facebook and that's when it hit me. Maybe for you, you're a mom and you remember a specific time when your kid wanted to play, but you were in bed because of this horrible migraine. So keep it concise and focus on 1 to 2 areas. The second thing we want you to look at is the turning point in your story. This is huge. Be specific. Find one specific area. Pick only one area. So for me, those of you who know my story know that I started developing cystic lesions on different organs. But when I'm telling my why for the first time in my 90-second elevator why speech, I'm not going to go into all that. I'm going to focus on one area, okay? So for me, it was when I went to my doctor's appointment and the doctor showed me the ultrasound of my ovaries that were covered in cysts. And I can remember sitting there and thinking to myself, this is my future. And I went home that night and I got on Facebook and I can remember seeing a guy, a friend of mine from high school, and he posted this photo and it was of his family. And I remember looking at it and thinking to myself, why would any man want to marry this? I'm no fun. I want to stay in all the time on the weekend. My children deserve better than this. I couldn't be the mom that my kids deserve. And I can remember just breaking down crying, and I was thrilled for him with that family photo and them playing football outside. But I wanted that. And I realized at that time in my life, I had no control over my health. Okay, so that was the turning point in my why and in my story. But more importantly, and Allison, you were just a master at this, how did it make you feel? Okay, here we're dealing with the limbic part of the brain, guys. So you want to connect to your prospect. You know, for me, I felt lonely. I felt powerless over my health, over my life, to be honest with you. Okay, so how did it make you feel? I can feel Allison's emotion as she's sitting in the doctor's room. I can feel it as if I'm there with her, and that connects to me. If you want to connect with your prospect, that's how you do it. Emotion and how you feel, okay? So as you are telling your story, I want you to remember, again, this is my little note, don't mention plexus, okay? They're hearing your story, they're connecting with you, they're totally engaged, but they don't know what it is, this gift that you possess that they need yet, okay? So keep it generic. And then get to the point where you kind of let them know, how did your business, I'm still crossing out the word plexus, we haven't mentioned it yet, how did it provide a solution, okay? So for me, healing my gut, instead of, I'm replacing the word plexus with healing my gut. I haven't told them that it's plexus that did that yet. I'm talking about how when I started healing my gut and I started sharing what it did for me on Facebook, that's when it changed everything. And so for me and my personal why, it was at this point after I started sharing, after that I started feeling better, and that at the age of 31, because I shared my story, I was able to freeze my eggs. And this girl, the same girl that sat in that doctor's office at the age of 27 and panicked because I had no control over my future, had no idea what was going to happen with my life, now has control over it. Okay? So at this point, now I'm going to share how my mission, I've now shared my mission, okay? So it wasn't until the very end, the climax of the story, that I've talked about why this is so meaningful to me. And so at the very end is when you're going to say, oh, and by the way, plexus is the reason I feel better and have been able to have financial mobility and to be able to freeze my eggs. And then us teachers would say it's the wait time. There's this awkward silence where you want to like explain everything and you feel kind of funny. Just pause. It's okay. So here's my note for you there. Stop. Don't do anything, okay? And at that point, your audience is curious. You have now generated curiosity. You're not giving out any more details. This is where your prospect is going to see plexus as a vehicle or a means to solving their problems. Okay, you have now given that power to them, and that gift that you have, they are going to want very desperately, and we know that they need it very desperately, but now they should begin to realize it. So it's at this point that you might want to do a three-way chat, that you might want to turn to your upline and just let it be for a second. Let them marinate on it, and we can incorporate it in future videos. We're going to talk about posts and different ways to also target them. But I think for now, it's time for some homework. The teacher in me has to give it out. So are you ready? Okay, this is your homework and I'm so excited, okay? So the first thing you're going to do for this next week till our next video series, and comment below once you've done it, is you're going to remember specific details of your why. You guys get to develop a rough draft of your why this week, which is so exciting. You get to think of those specifics, and if it goes longer, that's fine. You can cut it out more later, but eventually you're going to want to try to keep it to 90 seconds or less, okay? And those steps that we just went over, just rewind the video, incorporate those steps. that I use those to perfect my why as I was thinking about my why very recently. So use those steps, keep rewinding it, and practice. Practice, practice, practice. Videotape yourself. And once you get your developed, talk to your upline. Share it with them. They're your biggest help. And if you don't have an upline, talk to a sideline sister. If you don't have a sideline sister, please talk to me. We would love to help you guys. So we cannot wait for you guys to get started, and cannot wait to tune back in next week with y'all. Thank you guys so much.
Yay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.